Hello and welcome to episode 3 of Makeup 101. I am Mum, also known as Steve, also known as Foxy Loxy. You may notice a new addition. This has been in the background of previous videos. I'm now going to be using this. You can get in touch with me via Instagram using hashtag Mum101. So please do. Today's video is actually following on for the fundamentals of makeup. Why use foundation? Let's find out. Okay, so first off, what is foundation? Well, foundation comes in many forms, usually looking something like these. Dropping them already. But why use it? Well, the whole purpose of foundation is to even out the skin tone, make everything uniform, complexion, cover flaws, and sometimes actually it's used to change the natural skin tone. Now, I have actually used it to change a skin tone before. I used to do a lot of theatre, and I was directing a piece that I wrote all about racial stereotypes, gender stereotypes, sexual identity stereotypes, all of these, and I combated it with, in all honesty, making a white girl a black man and a black girl a white middle class man. Now, that is the power of foundation. It's got a lot of power, but usually you try and get a shade that's going to match your skin. Now, of course, foundation isn't just to give you an even skin tone and cover anything that is undesirable on your skin. It is also a fantastic base to apply further products, for instance, blushes and eyeshadows and things like this. I mean, you know, you can apply eyeshadows in many, many ways, not just for your eyes. That is coming in a future video. But really, it's to give you that glowing feeling, whether that is a matte or dewy finish. At the moment, I have nothing on, and once again, a hot day, and I am sweating. This is my bare skin, and I do look after my skin, so it isn't as bad as it used to be. However, foundation improves it no end. Okay, so strictly speaking, and there's a lot of varieties out there, but foundation usually comes in a liquid format, a cream format, or a powder format. All have their own uses, all as good as each other. Usually the same company would release all three types, or at least a couple of the different types, and they would release them in all their shades. Now, first thing you should know is what type is going to suit you, and the easiest way to do this is actually go into a store, try it out. Try the different types. Depends on your skin type, really, as to what's going to work best and what the occasion is and what sort of coverage you're going to be wanting. My ideal and the one I most like is a liquid foundation. However, I do use a powder foundation fairly often as well, just usually to top up. So next up, I'm going to go through a few of the foundations I've bought in the past, the ones I'm using now, and how I find them. First up, I've never heard of this brand. I bought this because it was a dark shade, it was cheap, and I was doing the show on a budget. This is when I wanted to black up my white female into a black man, and it is called Sleek Makeup. It cost me, it wasn't even that cheap, £7.99. It's New Skin Revive silicone based foundation. Now, I don't like this. I use it in some of my inspired videos to darken certain areas because it's the darkest foundation I own, and it's darker than anything else I've got in other product wise as well. Now, I don't like the coverage of it. I don't like the feel of it. I would not recommend this brand at all unless it's for cosplay, fancy dress, costuming purposes. Next up is good old trusty number 7. Can we focus on the name, please? Stay Perfect Foundation. Now, the first thing you should know about foundations, you're going to be wanting to match it to your skin tone. Now, number 7 is a Boots brand, which is a UK company. They may be elsewhere. And they, if you go in the shop, have a tool, it's a machine, they can colour match you. And they will find the best one for you. However, there are many ways to do it now. A lot of people do it on their hand, and in all honesty, that's not the best way, because how often do you put makeup on your hands? Seriously. Other people put it on their face, but at the same time, you're not wanting your face to be a different colour to your neck. Now, both are pretty much always going to be on show, so actually, the best way is more here, because you can blend up into your face. Now, depending on the product, depending on who would be able to colour match, most beauty stores would give you advice and help you colour match into you anyway. After all, they want to sell their products, don't they? Now, this was one of my go-tos. I didn't actually get this shade colour matched, and the shade has actually worn off the sticker. I haven't actually used that much. Now, this I bought for theatre, again, that I was doing, and this is the one I used to white up my black friend who was playing a white man. But that's all it's been used for. It's never been used since, and it's because of product number 3. Now, product number 3 is another Boots number 7 brand, and this was colour matched to my skin in store, and it is number 7 Beautifully Matte foundation. Most of these have an SPF to them. The 2 previous do, both number 7, they've got an SPF of 15, and sometimes that's important for you, especially if you burn easy, and clearly, you know, chances are you're not going to want to apply sun cream on top of your makeup. So to have some sort of sun protection is always good. Now, this has been used. You can see it's been used a fair amount. There is still a load left, and I mainly used this when I was on stage myself. It's lasted forever, but I've only been using it when I'm on stage. And then when I was getting into makeup, I was using it again. This was my go-to. I liked it. It's drugstore prices. It doesn't last, in my opinion. You know, it's going to come off your skin. But I quite like the texture of it, and I do want to quickly demonstrate this one. Now, can you see just how smooth it is? I don't find it the most breathable of foundations, but I think the coverage is okay for it. It doesn't go on forever. I mean, I've put a whole squirt on, which would be a heck of a lot. You know, I mean, it's covering my hand clear enough, isn't it? But for a face, I believe I always use sort of 2-3 squirts of this. It was a fair amount every time I used it. Now, the other thing I notice, it probably notices on my hand, is it doesn't seem to sink into the skin no matter what tools you're using to do so. So I wasn't hugely pleased, but at the time I knew no better. I didn't know there were better products out there, so it was a go-to. And honestly, it's a good place to start. I do recommend it as a starting product because it's cheap, it does what it needs to, but there's a lot better products out there. Okay, next up is a product that has been used a fair amount. Don't know when. I can't even remember buying this product because I don't use it and I've never used it. But I've clearly had it for a while. It is Rimmel Lasting Finish Foundation. Now, this is in natural beige. It's not even my tone. So I honestly have no idea where I got this from. But it does say it gives 25 hours coverage. I don't even know if I've ever used this, so let's give it a go. I've cleaned my hand from the other product, and I used micellar water to do so. So let's see how good this one is. Has this got an SPF? No, but it does say it's transfer proof, hydrating and lightweight. Well, let's see, shall we? Now, this is potentially more my tone, although I reckon it would be a bit dark, a bit too olivey. As you can see, it's much more olivey than the last one in complexion, but actually I prefer that. I actually think I prefer that to the number 7. There is no raised, you can't see where it's gone, unlike the number 7. So maybe I need to change my opinion. Don't buy number 7. Buy Rimmel Lasting Finish. I'm impressed with that. It's gone on well. I mean, clearly I've got loads on this hand now where I've been rubbing it in. I'd be using a brush or such like usually, but yeah. Get Rimmel. Okay, next is one I did use fairly often, and I think after number 7 I did move on to this one next, and it was L'Oreal True Match. And I didn't actually ask in store, I did my own tests to get the right shade, and this was, at the time at least, the right shade for me. I'm putting less on because I'm just using loads here. Again, I've cleaned my hand, and can you see this is a lot more my tone. I liked how it went on. I would say, looking at my hand and how much it's showing up, it is similar in coverage and flawlessness as Rimmel. About the same price as well, actually. So not too bad at all. They are my 2 budget picks, I'm going to say, for this video. So you have L'Oreal True Match and Rimmel Lasting Finish. Both of them are my budget drugstore brands. I do recommend them. But next up, we have my favourite, and yes, once again, you've guessed it, it's Younique. You'll see it used in all of my videos, and it is the Liquid Mineral Touch. I have so many of these, and it lasts a lifetime. I cannot talk about this product enough. All of the previous ones and foundations I've ever used, I could feel them on my skin. I knew I was wearing makeup. But this little baby here, completely forget I'm wearing it. It is so light, and the coverage is so good. Now, this is colour satin. I've got loads of shades of this. This isn't the shade I actually use. However, let me show you. So this goes on in a pipette, and it is very liquidy compared to the others. You don't need much. It lasts me months, and I use this daily. Now, as I said, this isn't my shade, but I love how far it goes. A few drops will cover your whole face. It will give it that flawless look. Oh, look at that. Look at that. Amazing. I love it. I wear it on a daily basis. This is my go-to foundation. And I also add it up sometimes with the only powder foundation I have. Now, I did have a creamed powder foundation. Didn't get on with it. So I don't have it anymore. But I do have a pressed powder foundation. And again, it's Younique. This is a shade for me. This is Taffeta. And I love how it comes in this case. So it's great for portability, touching up on the go. It comes with its own mirror, its own sponge, all protected from the product because you lift it out and you put it on with the sponge. And look at that. Now, as I say, don't use this often as a main product. I use it to touch up. It's compact. It's good to go. I do like it. It gives a much more matte finish. But I prefer the liquid, in all honesty. So what was this video all about? It was all about the types of foundation I've used, the products I know about, because what's the point of me talking about something I don't know? Now, there are plenty of products out there. You've got your budget. This was meant to be the cheapest one, this sleek, but it isn't. I would say the Rimmel, the L'Oreal are similarly priced, much better quality. The number 7s are slightly more expensive, and I'd say less quality. The most expensive ones are the Younique, and there are equivalents out there. I'm not saying you have to go and get them. You could go for, like MAC and Urban Decay and all them big name products. And although I've not tried them myself, I'm sure they do a great job. The reason I sell Younique is because I love Younique. It transformed my life, and not just because it's an amazing product. And the reason I got into makeup in the first place, like I have, I don't know if I could live without it anymore. It is the best coverage, the most lightweight makeup I've ever had on my skin. It gives a great flawless finish. And all the links to all the products, maybe not the Sleek because I got it from an independent store, I'll try and find it, but all the others will be in the description below. And what's the point in foundation then? To cover your blemishes, to make an even skin tone. As you can see right here, I've got red cheeks, I'm a bit lighter here. Yes, I'm hot. Yes, I'm sweaty. You can see some bumps and lumps and all these things. Foundation will give you that flawless finish, and it is usually used in conjunction with other products such as concealers and other products to go over the top. Now in the next video we are going to look at concealers, and I have more concealers than I have of foundation, and multiple different types, so we're going to look at them all. Please do give this video a thumbs up. Please do hashtag mum101. Please do comment down below. Please do subscribe because there's a lot more videos. This Makeup 101 series is just the beginning. This is the basics. Once they're out the way, we're going to go crazy. I'm Mum. This is my channel. Don't forget to subscribe.